The most popular baked bean in America has more added sugar per serving than a Snickers bar. The plain kidney bean your grandmother trusted has an industrial metal cleaning agent in it, and the refried beans you're eating as the healthy part of dinner will burn through a quarter of your daily sodium before you add anything else. They took the simplest food that ever existed and made it complicated on purpose. They couldn't even leave beans alone. Subscribe and let's open that can of beans. Bush's Baked Beans built one of the most recognized food brands in America on a single image, the family recipe. Duke the dog, the yellow label, Dad opening a can next to the hot dogs every summer. The entire brand identity is built on trust, the idea that what's inside has been made the same honest way for generations. We all know these baked beans are a bit sweet and have sugar in them. But did you realize it's 29 grams per serving, added sugars? 27 grams. That is 54% of your recommended daily added sugar limit in a half cup of beans, a product your brain files under savory side dish. A standard Snickers bar has 27 grams of total sugar. Bush's country style matches it gram for gram. Molasses was always part of the Boston baked bean. Legitimate, minimal, functional. When industrial canning replaced slow cooking in a brick oven, the deep flavor that 6 to 8 hours of real heat produced disappeared entirely. Sugar is the cheap replacement for time. Without it, industrially processed beans taste like nothing. The sugar isn't covering up a bad bean. It's compensating for a destroyed cooking process. Then Bush's found the larger opportunity inside that compromise. More sugar meant more flavor variations. More variations meant more SKUs. More SKUs meant more shelf facings, because retailers allocate space by product count. Country style, brown sugar hickory, brown sugar bourbon, honey, maple. Everyone runs the same sugar and modified cornstarch base with a different name on the yellow label. No new bean, no new process, no new factory, a marketing team, and a seasoning tweak. The sugar that replaced real cooking became the engine of a product line strategy. A heavily sweetened bean also sells to everyone. The original recipe was more savory, more specific, a working meal, not a cookout side. Bush's made it sweeter to catch the widest possible net. Caramel color closes the gap between what's in the can and what the label implies. Class 4 caramel color. The same compound California regulators have flagged for containing a byproduct listed as a known carcinogen at sufficient exposure makes the sauce look deep and rich. The color of something that spent a day over low heat. The beans look like they came out of a brick oven. The chemistry manufactured that appearance in a factory. B&M baked beans actually had a legitimate history. Boston style since the 1860s, real brick ovens, real molasses, real slow cooking. Then, ConAgra bought it. The brick ovens became a story on the label. The formula became industrial brown sugar and caramel color doing the work that 6 hours of actual cooking used to do. ConAgra also owns Van Camp's Pork and Beans, which runs high fructose corn syrup on top of sugar, not molasses, not brown sugar, high fructose corn syrup in a can of beans in 2026. Then they put a family recipe story on every label to make sure nobody compared what's in the can to what it claims to descend from. When you buy dried pasta, you are buying one ingredient to build something with. When you buy a can of kidney beans for your chili, your soup, your rice dish, you are making the same assumption. A pure ingredient, already cooked, nothing added. A shortcut to a clean building block that does exactly what you need and nothing else. That assumption is exactly what the industry counted on. Goya has been in American kitchens since 1936. It's not what most people think of as a processed food brand. For millions of households, it's just basic beans. The can that has always been there. The one that goes into everything. A staple so basic, it barely registers as a purchase decision. Flip the dark red kidney bean can. Flip the dark red kidney beans over, and you will find two things that have no business being in a can of beans: a chemical hardener and an industrial preservative. Calcium chloride is a firming agent. Beans have skins designed to hold their shape through high-pressure sterilization, the industrial process that makes shelf-stable canned food possible. But beans grown in mineral-depleted soil have weaker cell walls. They fall apart in the retort. The industry's answer is not to source better beans. It is to add calcium chloride to the water, a chemical hardener that does the structural work the bean's own skin was supposed to do. The bean needed a chemical to hold itself together because the sourcing didn't produce a bean that could. Disodium EDTA is a chelating agent. It binds to metal ions in the liquid and stops the oxidation that would turn canned beans gray on the shelf. Without it, industrial canned beans would discolor within months. EDTA locks the color in place, so what you open 2 years later looks like a fresh bean rather than something that's been sitting sealed in a can. The chemistry is performing the job that quality should have performed. This is not a Goya-specific decision, it's a category-wide policy. Allen's runs it, Hanover runs it. Kuhners adds sweetener on top of the chemical stack. The store brands, Great Value at Walmart, Food Lion, Stop and Shop, run calcium chloride and EDTA on their plain bean lines as standard practice. Bush's best plain kidney beans add dextrose, a sugar, alongside the EDTA, plain beans, with sugar and an industrial chelating agent. Eden Foods, one of the few brands refusing both, sources beans with sufficient natural mineral content that the skins hold through canning without chemical assistance. Their beans look like beans rather than a color-managed product photo. The can has 3 simple ingredients: beans, water, kombu seaweed. That's it. Every other major brand in the plain bean aisle is compensating for a sourcing problem with a chemistry solution and hoping you never read past the word beans on the front. When sugar numbers on Bush's baked beans started circulating online, it moved sales data. Bush's responded. They launched Bush's Zero Sugar Added Baked Beans, a front panel that signals health consciousness, responsible reformulation, a brand that listened. The back of that can is a different conversation entirely. They pulled the sugar and replaced it with sucralose, aka Splenda, a calorie-free artificial sweetener. They added soluble corn fiber, a processed byproduct of corn refining, to replace the carbohydrate mass that sugar provided so the serving size still felt substantial. They added yeast extract as a flavor compensator because without brown sugar providing sweetness and depth, the sauce tasted like nothing. The modified cornstarch is still there. Caramel color is still there. Bush's was not conceding anything. They were opening a new register. The zero sugar label unlocks an entirely different buyer: the diabetic managing glucose, the keto household cutting carbs, the health-conscious shopper who had been walking past the yellow can for years because of the sugar numbers. That buyer was never going to purchase Bush's original. The reformulation was not a response to criticism. It was a product line extension engineered to capture a revenue stream Bush's was leaving on the table. The sucralose they used to get there has a specific problem worth naming. Beans are one of the most valuable foods for gut microbiome health. The fiber feeds beneficial bacteria, which is the primary reason nutritionists recommend them consistently. Research published after 2020 has found that sucralose disrupts the same gut bacteria that dietary fiber is supposed to support. Bush's removed the sugar and added the one ingredient most likely to undermine the only reason the health-conscious buyer was reaching for beans in the first place. The person they were targeting with the new label is the person most harmed by what replaced the sugar. Zero sugar does not mean clean. It means the sugar was replaced with something that sounds better on the front of the can and opens a new purchase occasion for Bush's. Those are not the same thing. Amy's Organic Baked Beans does have sugar in their can, but it is organic cane sugar and maple syrup, listed plainly on the label. It does not pretend otherwise. That transparency, a brand willing to tell you exactly what sweetens the product, instead of hiding the replacement behind a health claim, is the entire difference between a product that respects the buyer and one engineering around them. Traditional refried beans are pinto beans cooked in lard with salt. That is the complete recipe. Lard provides fat and flavor, the richness that makes refried beans taste like something worth eating. Salt seasons. Together, they produce a food that is honest about what it is. Rosarita looked at that formula and saw a problem. Lard is saturated fat. Saturated fat scares the health-conscious buyer. So Rosarita No Fat pulled the lard and put excellent source of fiber on the front of the can. Problem solved, except fat carries flavor. When you remove it, the food tastes like nothing. The fix is salt, more of it, because salt is the only remaining lever that makes a product taste like something a person would choose to eat. Rosarita No Fat delivers 540 milligrams of sodium per half cup serving. The regular version, with the lard still in it, comes in at 470 milligrams. The product marketed specifically to health-conscious buyers has more sodium than the one it's supposed to replace. That is not an accident or an oversight. That is the math of what happens when you remove fat and still need the food to taste like food. The American Heart Association recommends no more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium per day for adults managing heart risk. Half a cup of Rosarita No Fat burns through 36% of that before a single other ingredient hits the bowl. The rice, the salsa, the cheese, the tortilla, all of that is still coming. The person building a healthy weeknight dinner just unknowingly loaded a third of their cardiac sodium budget into what they thought was the clean part of the meal. Old El Paso compounds it differently. Hydrogenated lard, a source of trans fats, the same fat class the FDA took formal action against in 2015 for direct links to cardiovascular disease, is still in their traditional refried beans in 2026. Not regular lard, hydrogenated lard. The FDA banned partially hydrogenated oils from the food supply. Old El Paso found a formulation that keeps the label legal, while the ingredient does the same cardiovascular work the ban was designed to stop. The person buying Rosarita No Fat is not the same person eating Bush's Country Style at a cookout. They are reading labels, counting sodium, trying to make choices their doctor would recognize as responsible. The product is specifically designed to look like what that person is looking for, and it is specifically the product delivering the outcome they were trying to avoid. The cookout crowd knows they are eating something indulgent. The burrito bowl buyer thinks they are being careful. The most cynical product in this entire video is aimed at the person paying the most attention. Is the ingredient list longer than 3 items? Beans, water, salt? Anything beyond that is compensating for something the bean or the process could not handle honestly. Is calcium chloride in there? The bean's skin needed chemical hardening. That is a sourcing problem wearing a chemistry solution. Is sugar in the first 3 ingredients? You are holding a condiment with some beans in it. Real beans have almost nothing to say on the back of the can. Subscribe and let's take a look at the real options. Randall Beans has been selling cooked beans in glass jars out of Michigan since 1952, and that one decision eliminates an entire category of concern before you read a single ingredient. No BPA, no epoxy resin lining, no coating chemistry between the bean and your bowl. Glass is inert and has always been inert, which means Randall never needed a reformulation or a non-BPA badge to reassure anyone. The jar was fine the whole time. Inside the jar are fully cooked beans, water, a pinch of sugar, and salt. No calcium chloride, no EDTA. The liquid pours off clear because there is nothing in it to cloud it. The jar also does something the entire canned bean industry made sure you couldn't do. It lets you see what you're buying before you open it. Every opaque can on the shelf is a product purchased entirely on faith. Randall never changed the container because the container was never the problem. Most people walk past it because the jar looks old-fashioned, and the can looks like progress. The jar was always the more honest package. It just never hired a marketing department. Give this jar a shot. It's available at Kroger's and most grocery stores. In 1999, a full decade before BPA became a mainstream consumer conversation, Eden Foods switched their bean cans to a lining with no BPA, BPS, or phthalates. Nobody was asking them to. They did it anyway. Eden has 3 ingredients: organic black beans, water, kombu seaweed. It has 15 milligrams of sodium, no EDTA, no calcium chloride, and no firming agent, because Eden sources beans whose skins hold through canning without chemical assistance. Kombu is a Japanese sea vegetable that naturally tenderizes the beans and adds mineral depth without salt. The result is a bean that tastes like what it is, with nothing added that needed to be explained away. It costs $2 to $3 against under $1 for Goya. For a food built on being affordable, that gap is real. But it is also the gap between a can engineered around its own sourcing problems and one that solved them before they became problems. The Bush's buyer is not looking for a can of Eden black beans. They want a baked bean, something sweet, smoky, substantial. That product exists without caramel color, without modified cornstarch, without 27 grams of added sugar doing the heavy lifting. Stonewall Kitchen out of Maine makes a baked bean worth keeping in the pantry. Shorter ingredient list. Real molasses, which provides genuine mineral depth, not the flat sweetness of brown sugar water thickened with industrial starch. No caramel color manufacturing the appearance of slow cooking. The product tastes like something was actually done to it, rather than added to it. It costs more than Bush's. It is also more honest than Bush's, and at this point in the video, you know exactly what that means. If you want to make it yourself, the original Boston baked bean needs 5 things: navy beans, molasses, salt pork, mustard, onion. That is the entire formula that sustained working people through a New England winter before Conagra acquired B&M and turned a brick oven into a label story. It costs less per serving than Bush's country style. It takes less time than you think, and nothing in it requires a chemistry explanation. The yellow can with the dog on the front did not improve on that recipe. It replaced it with something cheaper to manufacture, easier to scale, and much more profitable to sell. Then put a picture of a family on the label to make sure you never compared the two. Beans were never supposed to be this hard. One ingredient: water. Salt, if you wanted it. The simplest, cheapest, most nutritionally complete food available to almost every civilization that has ever existed. The can was supposed to be a shortcut to that, not a processed product engineered for shelf life, margin, and the appearance of simplicity. Flip that can of beans over before you buy it. The back always tells the truth, the front won't. Comment B2E if you made it to the end. Subscribe and support us by checking out our store and the grocery store cheat sheet. Link in the description. 150 products exposed. Stop guessing at the grocery store. Thanks for watching.